Hi friends, so in today's video I'm sharing some of my favorite keto meals. 9 of them will be from my channel and the other 18 are gonna come from my friends Jen and Christine over on their channels. So altogether that's 27 meals we're gonna share with you guys on a budget. First there's Jen Chapin. I love Jen's videos. She does a lot of haul videos, meal prepping videos. Make sure you go subscribe to her because I know you'll like her content. And the other is Christine from Frugal Fit Mom. Christine does a lot of budget grocery hauls, how she feeds her family of 6 on a tight budget and really makes delicious meals. So I know you guys are gonna love her content. And if you came from their channels, hello, welcome to my channel. Grab yourself some coffee, make sure you subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right, my friends, I am at Aldi. I'm ready to take this challenge on. I have my handy dandy cash envelope. I love these cash envelopes. If you're interested, the link for them will be in the description box. I can keep all of my receipts and all of my cash in there. So I'm going to head into Aldi, only spend $33 for 9 meals. We'll see. Wish me luck. Zucchini, 89 cents. Whole mushrooms, $1.39. 1 tomato, 1 avocado. Broccoli florets, 99 cents. Cauliflower, $1.89. Eggs, $1.18. Unsweetened almond milk, $1.79. Pork sausage, $1.89. That's some bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs for $4.76. Actually, I take that back. It's $4.53. Organic beef, $5.29. Cheddar cheese, it's $1.69. Chia seeds, $3.29. Scallions are 75 cents. 1 can of tuna in water, 68 cents. I did it! I'm so proud of myself. Girl, I was able to fit almond flour in there. It's $6.19 the almond flour here. Okay guys, let me show you what I got. I was able to do it! Yay! As a whole, I was able to spend $33.38. Now that does not include tax, girl, because listen, Jen, I know you're watching. You do not have tax on your groceries where you live, so I was like, it's only fair if I just add everything up and not include my 8% tax. So anyways, let me show you what I got. So I ended up getting some organic ground beef, some pork sausage, some chicken thighs, canned tuna, avocado, tomato, mushrooms, some green onions, zucchini, unsweetened vanilla almond milk, some frozen broccoli, a block of sharp cheddar cheese, and some chia seeds. Now I'm going to be able to make 9 meals out of this. Okay, so over here are items that I included in my overall total, but I did not purchase at the store because I had so much of it on hand at home, but I did include it in my total. That was some sliced cheese, some almond flour, that was $6.19 at the store. Eggs were $1.18, and I can't remember how much the heavy cream was. I want to say it was $2.35. So that is going to be included with my 9 meals that I'm going to use, and I'm so excited to show you guys what I'm going to make. Okay, so up first, I'm making a mushroom and cheese omelet. Now, girl, listen, I don't work at a restaurant and I don't know how to really make a beautiful omelet, but what's important is that it tastes good. So what we need for this are just 2 eggs, some mushrooms, and sliced cheese. So that's it. But if you have extra vegetables to add, definitely add them in. So you can add spinach in here, tomatoes, a few onions if you want. So here I'm just wiping my mushrooms down with a damp paper towel, just to take the excess dirt off of it. And I'm going to slice these, you know, I guess medium, small size for the omelet. And I'm going to cook these first and get them nice and soft before I add them to the omelet. So you definitely want to season it to your liking, but what I have is just like about a half a tablespoon of butter in there, and I like to put some garlic and some pepper on my mushrooms. I'll wait to add the salt because the salt draws the moisture out of the mushrooms and makes them really watery. So you wait until I wait until the end to add the salt, but garlic and the pepper is a must. I just love mushrooms with garlic and pepper. especially sauteed in butter. Maybe add a little bit of olive oil. I think I added olive oil to the pan as well. So I'm just gonna saute these until they get nice and soft. I add a little bit of heavy cream to my eggs. Now, if you don't want to use cream, you can definitely use water, or, you know, I would stay away from milk or half and half because they have a lot more carbs in them. So I just use heavy cream, and now I'm just pouring it into my nonstick pan. Now, I think I put another half of a tablespoon of butter in the pan and just, you know, mixed it all around. And we're just gonna let this cook. If you have a smaller pan, it would work a lot better, but I just gotta do what I got and use what I have at home. I like it to be thin, which is why I'm using a larger pan. You can add a whole bunch of vegetables to this. If you have bell peppers, onions, anything you want. And once it's done, because it's pretty much done at this point, you just flip it over on each side and then boom, girl, you have yourself a cute looking omelet. Again, you can make this omelet as beefy as you want it to be. This is just how I like it, and I'm just adding a top here so that the cheese can melt a little bit better, and now I'm adding my salt. I wait to add my salt to the eggs as well because again, it draws the moisture out, and here we have the omelet. Up next are some scrambled eggs. I'm just going to mix these up. I'm gonna add a little heavy cream and scramble them up. So with my scrambled eggs, I'm gonna be making some sausage crumbles. This meal is pretty straightforward, guys. I used a half a pack of the sausage that I bought from Aldi, and I'm just, you know, cooking it up in the pan to make it some crumbles. And scrambled eggs is pretty as basic as you can get, but it's filling and it's satisfying. Up next, guys, I'm making some keto note meal. Yes, note meal with an N. And before you say, Gia, you've lost your mind, I'm not eating it, I suggest you give it a try. It's actually really, really good, depending on how you make it. So what I do is the night before I want to have keto note meal, I will get a container, a plastic container, and I'll add you know, a tablespoon of chia seeds. I like to add hemp hearts to it and some coconut milk. These are the hemp hearts that I use. I get these from Costco. I think it's $14.99 for this entire bag, and there's so many things that you can do with this. You can add it on your salad. You can soak them overnight, like I'm doing, in coconut milk or almond milk or something like that. It's just a great way to add some healthy fats, fiber, and iron. There's a lot of iron in it, and magnesium. Again, you can make this with just chia seeds, because I did not add the hemp hearts in my total cost because it was just over our $33 limit. So again, you can do it with just chia seeds, and I included chia seeds in there. So you just want to pour enough in there to cover it. I don't have exact measurements because, see, the thing is, it's going to soak up all of that milk. So I'm going to pour a little bit more. Just store it in your fridge overnight, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the morning. Okay, so here is I call it either chia pudding or keto oatmeal. Okay, don't be alarmed if you're a texture person. I mean, at first I was like, I cannot eat this. You know, it takes a little bit to get used to, but it is so good once you start eating it. So let me tell you how I doctor mine up. I'll add a little bit of unsweetened coconut flakes, really good. Some almonds, if you have some fresh berries, strawberries, blueberries, add that in there. I do sweeten it a little bit with sweet leaf drops, or if you have the monk fruit sweetener, any of your sweetener, not too much, just like a little bit, and it is so good. So I suggest you give it a try. All right, so we're on to lunches now, and this is probably the easiest lunch that you can make. It's just sliced tomatoes and hard-boiled eggs with some everything bagel seasoning on it. It is so good, so satisfying, and very filling. So all you have to do is just boil your eggs, and then, you know, slice your tomato and add your the bagel seasoning. Okay, so I peeled my eggs here. So now I'm just gonna slice it and slice my tomato and put some everything but the bagel seasoning on it, and that's lunch. It's tuna taco time. Yes, sis, I'm making tuna tacos. That's what we're gonna call them. And it's really just tuna in between a slice of cheese. But you know, it serves its purpose, okay? I will say this, my lunches are a little bit lighter because typically when you're eating keto and you get into ketosis, you are not really that hungry, especially if you eat a great breakfast full of healthy carbs. You typically don't eat as much. So these are great transitional meals as you're trying to get your body into ketosis. So for my tuna, I just like to put some red onion in my tuna, some mayo, a little bit of mustard. You can sweeten it if you like a little bit of sweet tuna with your sweetener of choice. You got to be careful with the relish though, because that does have carbs in it. So I didn't put any in there this time, but you just, you know, season it the way you like. I like to put a lot of fresh cracked pepper in my my tuna. So you just season it the way you like, and then boom, lunch is ready. So here is how you make it a tuna taco. You put your tuna on here, like so. And what I like to add is, a little bit of everything bagel seasoning, and you have yourself a tuna taco. And you can make like 3 or 4 of these as a meal. Out of everything I made for this video, these were hands down my absolute fave. So whatever you do, you definitely want to try this. These were so good. The keto biscuits were good. And this is on the screen is the keto biscuit recipe that I use off of Instagram. I think her name is Low Carb Mama or something like that, but here's the recipe. So go ahead and screenshot that. This is how you make them. But these sliders were so good. Definitely, if you have any cravings for like a burger and a bun and stuff like that, this definitely works. And honestly, this meal can either be lunch or dinner. Either way, it's going to be delicious. So for the keto biscuits, you're just going to use some almond flour. Again, screenshot the recipe that I showed you earlier, but it's just some almond flour, sour cream, an egg, and some shredded cheese. And the more cheese you put in it, it'll taste like a Red Lobster cheddar biscuit. It is so good. So you can put as much cheese as you want in there. I've made it with just garlic in there, no cheese, and those are really good, or garlic and cheese is good together. But that's pretty much all you need is just the cheese, the sour cream, some melted butter, and some baking powder. And it's really good. But now, while you're mixing it up, you want to make sure your melted butter cools down a little bit, because if you put it in there with that egg, it'll actually scramble the egg if it's too hot. So you want to let it cool for just a minute, and then once it's cool, you will get like a dough-like consistency. And I like this recipe because it's not made with mozzarella cheese. It's not a fathead dough recipe, you know, because sometimes you get tired of that kind of bread when you're trying to make your own keto bread at home. These biscuits are really, really, really good and definitely hit the spot. So once you have your dough all together, I just put it on a baking sheet. You can use parchment paper if you do not have a silicone lined tray like I do. You can use parchment paper, and I like my biscuits a little bit flatter so they look like a bun. Now if you want a muffin like biscuit, use a muffin pan, then it'll look like a muffin. Mine came out a little bit flatter because I used a flat baking sheet so that it can look like a bun, or you know, you can make bagels with this recipe. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. So I'm gonna put these, that's how they look. Preheat my oven to 400 degrees, and now I'm gonna put these babies in and watch them for about 12 minutes. I'd say take a look at it after 10 minutes just to make sure. Now I'm going to make my sliders. I add butter to the pan because the beef that I get from Aldi, it's kind of lean. You know, it's organic and stuff, but it's very lean, and you want to add that fat back into your burgers. So I took a couple tablespoons of butter and I put it in the pan. So here I just took half of that package because I'm going to use the other half for another dinner that I have. And I like to season my burgers with just some salt, pepper, and garlic. That's pretty much what I season everything with. And then I will make my patties up. I was able to make 4 small patties with this. So definitely more than enough for one serving. As a matter of fact, 2 really should have like 2 is considered one serving. So this is really like 2 meals. Okay, got my burgers fried up here. I easily made 4 burgers with half of this pack. So that's a plus. And then the other half I'm gonna be using for another meal, so we'll save that. But that's easy. This can easily be, especially if you're in ketosis, 4 different meals, because you're not that hungry when you're in ketosis. But if you're just starting out, you can easily eat 2 of these and 2 biscuits, girl, so good. The sliders are looking delicious. I'm gonna add a little bit of cheese on top. So these are the biscuits after about 12 minutes, and girl, they were smelling absolutely delicious. Yummy. Okay, so besides the cheese, this is what I decided to put on top of my sliders. I'm gonna put some fresh sliced avocado, mustard, ketchup, and then some pickled onions that I made. These are keto pickled onions. I did not include this in the $33 budget, but in case you're curious on how to make them, I'll insert that footage here. All right, I'm gonna be making some keto pickled onions. So I have a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and I'm gonna put it in this jar, and I'm also going to add a cup of water into this jar with a tablespoon of monk fruit sweetener. This sweetener is a 1-to-1 sugar replacement. If you don't have monk fruit sweetener, just use any sweetener of your choice. You can use liquid stevia, whatever you like. So I'm going to slice this up, add my water and everything, and then I'll show you guys when I'm done. I'm just using an old honey mason jar. I forgot to mention that I also added like a couple of turns of pink Himalayan salt and then some whole black pepper. I will leave a link in the description for the recipe that I'm following. And so now I'm just mixing it up, and I'm going to chop up my red onion. Okay, while I'm getting everything ready, I'm boiling some hot water so I can blanch the onions before I put them in our pickled mixture. So make sure you have your water ready. My eyes are on fire. Fire, okay? Use onion goggles. Warning, use onion goggles. Oh, okay. The water's ready, so I'm gonna pour this over the onions and let this sit for 1 minute. Okay, so I drained them, and I have my liquid here, all ready to go. I'm gonna put them in the liquid, I'm gonna let them cool, and then put them in the fridge for you to enjoy. You can probably, I would say, you can eat them after a day. Really, anytime, really, because it's you blanch them, so it's like they're not, sorry it's so hot, they're not hard or anything. But you can use these on keto bread, with an avocado salad, on a keto taco bowl, anything like that. Let me finish putting the rest of these in here. Oh, these look so good already. Anyway, I'm just gonna let these cool completely. Then I'll put them in the fridge to eat later. So that is how I make the pickled onions. I've had them on hot dogs, on sandwiches, on salads. They are so good, and you can use them for so many different things. So here I'm putting my slider together. This is the inside of the bread, how it looks. It's super moist. It has a really, it feels like a biscuit, to be quite honest. It feels like a delicious biscuit. So I'm just putting all my stuff on there. I'm gonna add an avocado for some healthy fats, some ketchup, some mustard, and pickled onions. Ooh, pretty good, right? Girl, I am the worst. I mean worst when it comes to trying to figure out when an avocado is ready or not. Yeah, I have to guess. I feel it, you know, and pray that it comes out nice and green. Luckily, this one came out perfectly. Girl, look at me with my fancy burger. How delicious does this look? Y'all, this is so good. This might be a family fave. Also, another tip with the other half of your avocado. I wish I had a little avocado thing that stores your avocado fresh, but you could put sliced fresh avocado on top of the biscuit to make it like avocado toast. The rolls that we made, you can also put those in the toaster to warm them up, but they will hold good in the fridge for up to a week. This is how I store them, just in a Ziploc bag. Just pop, like I said, pop them in the fridge and they'll hold good for a week. Okay, so for our next meal, I'm making some classic beef and broccoli. Now, would it be good with some beef steak, maybe some flank steak? Absolutely, girl, but that was not in our $33 budget, okay? So I had to use the rest of my ground beef, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm browning the ground beef, and I'm going to shortly add my frozen broccoli that I bought. With it, and you know, the frozen broccoli is so quick and easy, so I just wanted to make sure that my meat was browned first. Again, I added a little bit of fat in there, and here is the frozen broccoli that I got from Aldi. So I'm just adding it in there, and I'm going to let it cook down a little bit before I add the seasoning for the broccoli. Now, I did season the ground beef with salt, pepper, garlic. Girl, my go-to for everything is salt, pepper, and garlic. You can do no wrong with salt, pepper, and garlic, okay? So I'm adding a lid here so that I can, so the broccoli can defrost. I'm adding a little bit of coconut aminos because coconut aminos does have carbs in it. You've got to be careful with that. I'm adding a little bit of salt, and then I'm adding soy sauce. You don't want to add too much salt because obviously soy sauce is very salty already. So you just want to add just enough. And of course some garlic, girl. You know, listen, it won't be a GM meal if it doesn't have salt, pepper, and garlic in it. So I'm just mixing that all up, and then I will add my soy sauce shortly. Here it is. I'm just gonna pour a little bit of the soy sauce in there, and it comes with like this nice juice to it as well. Okay, this is done. Now, if you want, you could add cauliflower rice to this. I'm not going to add cauliflower rice. I'm just gonna eat it in a bowl like this because that's good enough for me. But if you wanted to add shirataki noodles, those clear zero carb noodles, or some cauliflower rice, you can definitely do that with this dish. So for my 8th meal, I'm making keto fried rice. I'm taking the other half of that beef and broccoli dish that we made. I'm adding some fried rice to it, girl. Listen, you have so many meals because it cooks so much. And like I said, your portions aren't incredibly big, especially when you're in ketosis. And so if you don't want to use that, you could also use the rest of your pork sausage that we haven't used. You can use the rest of that. So here I'm just going to make my fried rice, and I'm going to use an egg. I'm going to put some green onions in there and a little bit of coconut aminos. I suggest coconut aminos if you are trying to watch your salt intake. Coconut aminos is a great alternative to soy sauce. So here I'm just scrambling my egg, girl, and I almost burnt my pan up doing this like this in this wok. Don't know what I was doing. I should have used another pan, but anyway, I'm just going to scramble it up. And then I will add my cauliflower rice and let it cook down. So I've added my cauliflower rice here. You keep it in the freezer. I get a large bag of it from Costco. Yeah, and I added a touch of sesame oil just to give it that kind of Asian flavor. Of course, girl, we won't be anywhere without our salt, pepper, and garlic in our fried rice. So I'm just scraping the pan here and cooking it up. Cauliflower rice really takes on whatever you season it with. If you don't season it, girl, it's just gonna taste like pure air, okay? And ain't nobody got time to be eating no pure air. Okay, so however you season it, that's how it's gonna taste. So if you season it like mashed potatoes, it's gonna taste like mashed potatoes. If you season it like fried rice, it's gonna taste like fried rice. So that's why I added a little bit of coconut aminos and a little bit of soy sauce in my regular seasoning. And now I'm getting ready to cut up my scallions to put in there. And really, if you wanted to add, you know, any other kind of keto-friendly vegetable, you could. I mean, we're adding the broccoli with the beef and broccoli to beef it up. You can add chicken in here, shrimp, any kind of fried rice you want. Especially, this is great, especially if you are craving some good old-fashioned Chinese food. This is how much fried rice is left, and this is how much beef and broccoli, even, you know, after using it twice. So this is definitely 2, even 3 dinners in and of itself. This creamy chicken and mushrooms dish is so good. This is great if you're craving something savory and kind of rich. This is great. So this is where I'm going to be using our chicken thighs that I got from Aldi, bone in, skin on, because, you know, we want all those added fats. You know, the chicken thigh, I think, is like the fattiest part of the chicken. So, I mean, you could make this with chicken breast or tenderloins, but that's a much more lean cut of meat. You know, if you want to get the most healthy fats, then you want to go ahead and use the chicken thigh. Now, I season the chicken with salt, pepper, garlic, of course, and some onion salt. I get that onion salt from Trader Joe's. My fan's on, but this looks beautiful, so golden brown. Just flip it over. I'm going to get ready to put it in the oven at 475 for about 13 minutes. Okay, so this was in there for about 15 minutes. Just took the internal temperature. It's just best to just double check. It's at 165. That's what chicken needs to be for it to be cooked. And so now I'm going to start sauteing my mushrooms. I'm using the rest of my mushrooms. I'm going to wipe them down and slice them up and saute them in the same pan that I cooked the chicken in. Okay, so the mushrooms are done. Now to this, I'm going to add about a third cup of white wine. This is so good. Actually, got this recipe from a website called Cafe Delights. She actually has a YouTube channel and posted it on her YouTube channel as well. I will link it in the description box. But yeah, so I'm just, oh, it smells so good, y'all. I wish you guys could smell it. Oops, I forgot to cut a mushroom here, but I'm just gonna let this cook here and then get ready to add our heavy cream. So this is the white wine that I used for the sauce. Now you're gonna cook off any kind of alcohol content in it, and yeah, it does have carbs, but it's a tiny amount. I would say less than 1/8 of a cup that I used in there. And so, you know, you're not going to eat this whole thing in one sitting. And then I added like a cup of heavy cream to the dish, and then some Parmesan cheese. Girl, I didn't have a block of Parmesan cheese to freshly grade. Would that be nice? Yes. I had to use what I had in my kitchen, which was some Parmesan cheese, the kind that you put, you know, in the can that you put on spaghetti, and it worked just fine. Okay, so with the chicken, I would serve, I think it pairs so well because I've had it before, with some zucchini noodles. This is my spiralizer. I ordered it off of Amazon. It's linked in my Amazon store in the description box. All you do is spiralize it and then saute it in the wok just for like 3 or 4 minutes, because I like a little bit of a crunch to mine with the same salt, pepper, and garlic and some avocado oil. Just 3 to 4 minutes, because after that it'll start getting really soggy because the zucchinis are really wet, but it's perfect after that. I included these in our original purchase price. I'm not going to make any tonight with the meal because we just had these, and yeah, I just don't feel like having it, but the chicken and the sauce is good enough to just eat on its own. Or you can have some steamed broccoli, it over steamed broccoli, or cauliflower rice. Oh, this looks so good over that chicken thigh. It was absolutely delicious. So decadent, so rich. You know, if you just want something a little bit fancy, you know, this would be a great like Valentine's Day dinner. If you're cooking at Valentine's Day dinner at home and you're trying to eat keto, this would be great. It's almost like a treat, the sauce. So, and it pairs well with so many things. You can use this with shrimp. You can use this with any kind of chicken you want. So that is all the meals. I'm so proud of me and Jen and Christine. We did it for $99, y'all. 27 meals. I did 9. They each did 9, and we each used $33 to buy our groceries. And actually, we had more than 9 meals. There was enough for at least a week's worth of meals with everything that we cooked. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can tap my picture on the screen, and you can also check out my previous video right next to it, and all of my social media platforms all listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you go check out Jen and Christine's channel and subscribe to them, and I'll see you in the next video.